Force is with you, young Skywalker. But you are not a Jedi yet.
Hi, this is Jason with Violator Comics Collectibles, coming at you with another toy review. And this time we're taking a look at the Star Wars Rogue One Chirrut Îmwe figure. And this is from the Rogue One toy line from Hasbro from 2016. So the first thing we're going to do is take a closer look at the packaging. So, as far as packaging, pretty standard for the Rogue One toy line. Very similar cut to the Star Wars The Force Awakens packaging. As you can see, I'll kind of actually show. You'll see this is the Star Wars Force Awakening packaging, and it's, you know, cut exactly the same. Bubbles exactly the same. Everything's the same. They just changed some of the stuff on it. So, pretty standard. So, it's got the Star Wars Rogue One. Now, if you get any kind of figure that's from this toy line, that's not from the Rogue One movie, like the Kylo Ren figure, it just won't say that the Rogue One will be gone. But it's got a nice picture of the Death Trooper. It's got a nice picture of Chirrut Îmwe, and I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. I've only heard his name said a couple times in some of the production things, but I think it's Chirrut Îmwe. And then you see his figure right there. He comes with a nice little launcher, and it also has a picture telling you that this is functional with that app that you can download, and it actually lets you play with your figures, record, and actually add special effects. So, pretty nice package, nice and standard. I love the I love the red background behind him. And going on the back, just very bland packaging. It just has a little picture of him, as well as it gives a little synopsis of the character, and it also talks more about the app. But you can actually see, you know, this is the Force Awakens packaging, and this is pretty bland as well. At least this shows some of the other figures in the toy lines. This also talks about the special features that come with the figure, the extra gimmick and stuff, and this just talks about the app. I mean, very bland. A lot of writing for a kid's toy. I mean, at least this has some pictures that show you, you know, buy these other figures in this wave. But pretty standard. Like I said, it's nice. I like this style packaging. But let's get this figure opened up. Alright, so taking a look at this figure. So really nice looking figure. Getting out of the package, I was much more impressed than actually seeing it in the package. I didn't think it really looked like the character, and then when I kind of opened it up and played with it, definitely felt, you know, more and looked more like that character that they show in, you know, the previews and stuff. So, you know, real interesting character. He looks like some kind of monk that's, you know, maybe force sensitive, and you know, he looks really nice. So first look, you know, I zoomed in, and I'll show each section a little bit closer up, but he's got like these light blue eyes. And, you know, originally when you look at the package, when I saw it in the store, I'm like, it just doesn't look like they really tried to make him look like he was blind. And as you know, you open it up, the white, it's very light blue, so I guess it kind of has that hazy look to it. So, I mean, they did a pretty good job with it. So he comes with his staff, so pretty straightforward. It's a staff. It looks like it is molded nice. It's got like a little metal tip on there. It looks really good. He's got really nice molding on this figure, you know, going down into this cloak. It looks fantastic. And like I said, I'll zoom in and show you so you can actually see, but really, really nice. And one of the things I didn't expect is this actual section, this little section on the front of him is actually movable. It's actually connected by a strap. I mean, it's not a single molded piece, and that goes into his cloak. And I thought that was really cool. They didn't have to do that. I thought that was going to be a solid molded piece. So really, really nice. With this guy, articulation, you know, it is what it is with these figures. You got 5 points. You have the legs, and on this, you can see the legs are really weird, just like the Kylo Ren figures from The Force Awakens, and even this toy line, the Rogue One. They really haven't done anything cool. I mean, the cloak is molded onto the leg. It looks kind of crappy. No waist articulation at all. He can turn his head, and he can move his arms up and down. That's it. So the problem is, obviously, with the articulation, you really can't do anything cool with this staff because he has really no range of motion. And then you can see Chirrut's eyes, and you can see how, like I said, it's a very light blue, so it definitely gives that, you know, kind of feel that he is blind, where he's got that haze over. Like I said, when I had this at the store, his eyes look super, super bright blue, and I just thought it was really poorly done. And when I got it opened up and actually looked at it, maybe when the light hits it better, I mean, it's got that nice haze to it. And here's that midsection belt I was talking about, like the strap over shoulder. This is actually a separate piece, which is cool. And I love his little wrist gauntlet thing he's got. I mean, you know, detail is fantastic, and you can kind of see, you know, the detail that goes in the little molding into the cloak. I mean, it looks really good. They have that definite, like, fabric look to it. And then going into his staff, you can see how nice it definitely looks like a piece of wood. It's molded to be rough. Really, really nice. And he's got that metal tip on the back side. Or I guess it could be the front side. It really depends on how he uses it in the movie. One other thing I thought was really cool is his boots are painted shiny. They are like some of the shiniest boots and the shiniest paint I've seen in a very long time in a Star Wars figure. I mean, they are like, you know, they pop really, really brightly. I mean, it's pretty cool. I don't know if the camera can even show it, the light hitting it, but looks absolutely fantastic. He also comes with this little crossbow. Basically, every figure's been coming with like a missile launcher. So he comes with like this. It actually looks like he might use something like this in the movie. I thought he had some kind of crossbow-looking gun, but it's kind of cool. This actually folds up, which is pretty nice. And then this piece right here, which I think is some kind of scope, this actually just pops off. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be glued, but on mine it falls off. But I mean, the way it functions is basically you stick the missile in, and then you'd basically, it's a latch system, you just push down, you know, and unlatch it, and the missile would fly, which I'll show in a second. The only thing that's kind of weird is they show it on the packaging. It's supposed to go in his right hand, but his right hand, when it fits in here, you can't get him to hold this thing the way it bends. I mean, I feel like I'd have to break the figure's arm because he's got thin little arms to get him to hold it. So he doesn't really, kind of just holds it like that. I mean, even if you try and, you know, clip it in first, and clip the handle in first, and then try and smash his arm to this metal plastic piece right here, it doesn't work. So it's kind of unfortunate. But I mean, I definitely feel like this is more practical and might be something he'd actually use in the movie. Like I said, I thought he used some kind of, they show him in the trailer peeking over a box to shoot this, but I mean, pretty standard. So I mean, we'll just fire the missile to see. I mean, it should fire pretty decent. Well, that was kind of pitiful. But let's hold it here then and do it. There, and it actually shoots the missile pretty good. And then for size comparison, here you have Chirrut next to the Jyn Erso, as well as the Darth Vader from the Rogue One toy line. You can see that Chirrut is really, really small compared to Jyn. I mean, I'm assuming that's the way that the character is going to be in the movie. We're really going to have to see when we actually size him up. But I mean, obviously, you know, most characters are smaller than, you know, compared to Darth Vader, and you can see that Darth Vader definitely towers over him. But I like that they do that. Like, I hate when toy lines make it where they're really buff, just like the original, you know, the Power of the Force 2 characters were, they were like He-Man. They're actually bulked up. They look like professional wrestlers. And I like, you know, the newer toy lines make it where they're much slimmer and they have that nice, you know, actual natural body style to them, especially for the female figures, you know, the slender arms. And they definitely, you know, made Chirrut look fantastic in this figure. Now, downsides, articulation. Articulation absolutely just kills this series. You know, with these 3 3/4 inch figures, you know, this is one of the size figures I've always collected. I love the 3 3/4 inch figures, but it's really crappy that they have really, you know, no articulation. 5 points of articulation is just is absolutely sad. I mean, at least maybe give a wrist, you know, pivot or something. That way he can do something cool with their staff, or maybe hold his staff with 2 hands. But it's definitely unfortunate. I mean, it definitely takes away the range of motion and the functionality and playability of these toys. But like I said, I really like this figure. I thought he didn't look very good when I saw him in the packaging at the store, but getting him home and actually looking at it, they definitely, have some extra features on him. His detail is extremely nice, and I love the way that they did make it where you really look at his eyes. They do give that hazy look that they show in the movie, like that glazed over look. That's because he's blind, but a fantastic figure, and hopefully the character is just as fantastic in the movie. And once again, this has been Jason with Violator Comics Collectibles. If you have questions or comments, leave in the comment section below. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and I'll see you guys next time.